here. Okay, guys, welcome to night number 3 of our 3-day session on total HVAC training. And we're going to start tonight. I'm actually going to do the presentation like it's supposed to do. And see if we can't get this rascal to share. So give me some feedback. And I believe what I have to do on the presentation is I think I may have to swap. Where's it at? Uh-oh. Okay, there it is. All right. Does this look like yours? Does this look right now? Tell me, do you just have the presentation? Or are you seeing my next slide?
Now we do, yeah. Now it's just the presentation.
Okay, good. So I'm going to move my little thing out of the way. So welcome back. We are on a third night, and I know a lot of you guys haven't caught every one, or maybe just by way of review. Let's talk about a couple of things real quick. So first thing that we mentioned is the importance of your perception. If you want a customer to write you a big check, you gotta play the role or be the role of a type of company that's used to getting big checks in their mind. So, you know, Kelly McKay over here, he's over at Service HQ. He did a rebrand, and that's just a little example of what that might look like for your company. So if you're an owner and you want to raise your game and you put your comfort consultants in training programs like, you know, some of the stuff that we do and the other things that are out there, and you want them to be successful, you gotta back them, guys. You gotta do the work on the front end. And we talked about several things that you can do leading up to your comfort advisor, or you, if you're an owner, knocking on that door. That's just going to make it so much easier, and it's going to make everybody more successful. And of course, that involves everything. You know, we talked about that 1%er that the CEO over at Southwest Airlines mentioned. He said, we're not that much better at everything. We're just 1% better at everything. And so from maybe the way that the phones are answered, you know, being professional with photo ID badges, the comfort advisor process, the technicians that are out in the field that are out before the comfort advisor comes in, you know, are they putting on the booties? Are they doing these extra things? So these are the types of things that are leaving an impression with your consumers, with your customers, and with your prospects, that ultimately translates into what? Do you remember? It is your brand. Your brand is what people think about you, say about you, and how you're perceived in your market. And based on your brand, and based on how you're perceived, and based on how you market, you're going to attract different customer types. So if you want those big customers that really like your high-end stuff and all the variable capacity stuff, you know, and maybe zoning or whatever it is that you just enjoy putting in, you gotta be able to attract that type of customer, and they respond to different marketing messages. So we talked about that. We also talked about how important it is to have a very strong, inflexible, in the face of bad mindsets, strong positive mindset or frame. So you're not a salesman, you're a consultant, right? Things like this. And we talked about all those things. When, you know, you're too high. No, our prices are very fair. And if owners, if you are breaking this down for your comfort advisors and helping them understand, you know, how you arrive at your prices, you'll find that they'll get on board and they'll actually believe in your prices. Owners, if you're getting a lot of callbacks from your installation department, it will quickly become your fault when your comfort advisor loses faith and they can't stand up there and say, we are the best. Guys, you need to believe that your company is the best. The only way you're going to believe that you're the best is to implement things that make you the best. And any areas of these that we've got listed here, you want to make sure that if there is an area that you're weak in, you get with the owner and you do what is necessary to have that what's called a paradigm shift, where you go from one belief because of lack of knowledge to a different belief because you've been informed and now you understand. And you, as a leader, if you guys are owner and salespeople, are going to hire your own salespeople one day, then you're going to want to learn how to do this and lead the way. Okay. And being a leader means leading your culture, you know, holding people accountable, and that includes you, boss. So we want to keep that in mind. Now, when we're out there marketing and we're advertising to people, we know that depending on where that lead comes from, these closing ratios vary. And the colder they are, thus the color there, the less we tend to close. You know, we may have to go on 10 estimates, get 2 jobs by running, you know, maybe through Google or something like that. unless we take some additional measures and kind of warm up those leads. And so we talked about how when you show up to give that estimate, it doesn't need to be the first time they've ever seen you, heard of you, or know anything about you. We need to do those strategies that we discussed on allowing, kind of introducing you ahead of time and giving you a reputation ahead of time, and maybe even seeing your videos and email bio about you. And if they see a picture of you with your family versus you by yourself, it puts you in a different light. They see you as a family man and not as some guy out trying to sell them an air conditioning, right? So we covered that. We also covered those 7 key ingredients. And Sam broke it down in great detail as to what each of these, how they play out, the order and everything else. And if those of you who asked for it, he actually sent you a homeowner questionnaire, which was really nice of him. And I've got a free gift as well. I wanted to actually put something together for you guys, but I've been working on this other stuff. But if you'll remind me, I will send you a copy of the mindset that you need to have. And we'll send that out on something very similar to what Sam has done here. Okay, so when you're out there, now let's talk about what you got to do. So at this point, we really have to discover what their needs are. And here's a few categories that, these are pretty popular. A lot of people are interested in energy savings. A lot of people, especially your high-end customers, they want peace of mind. They don't want that internal stress that is a result of that external problem, right? So we've got to be able to address that. We've got to be able to fix that. I'm not going to be able to see these questions until after, guys, so bear with me. I just saw it pop up over there. There's a few of them.
Don't worry about it, Pete. I got your back on that.
Okay, thank you, buddy. And so convenience, people love Wi-Fi and things of this nature. We've got green customers now, people that are quality-oriented, comfort-oriented, health, noise, safety, price, and there's a host of other different things as well, but we need to have a process in place that allows us to uncover those needs before we can actually offer a solution, right? So once we're ready to offer that solution, we've got to use some tools. And so maybe you're doing a tablet or an iPad type presentation. What goes in that presentation? What should not be in that presentation, right? Maybe you have a brag book. And what's in that brag book? Maybe it's a copy of your company license. Hey, if you're a licensed contractor, and you went in there and took that test, be proud of it. Put it in your Comfort Advisor's presentation book. But the way I presented that is the same thing with my my insurance. Is when I laid it out in my book and I said, this is a copy of our state license. We're licensed in these 3 areas. Now, you would expect me to be licensed if I'm in business, but we just felt like it was important enough to put it here so that you could actually see it. This is my license, this is my license number, and this is my company, right? Because I sold for my own company. So a copy of your insurance, if you carry general liability, if you carry workers' compensation, whatever it is that you carry, and then you talk about how that could affect them if they deal with somebody who does not. If you deal with a company, if you have workers in your home and they have an accident, did you know that if they're not properly insured, they can sue your homeowner's insurance, for example? Little things like that adds credibility to your organization, to you, and it often puts a question in their mind if they've already had estimates out there before and the other company didn't cover these things. And that's why we do them. Testimonials are very important. This is a third-party validation. This isn't you saying, hey, I'm the best. This is somebody who's actually enjoyed your services, had your products installed, and has actually lived it and said, you know what, these guys are great, and I want to go public with it and let the world know. And so if you get those, you want those to be part of your presentation. Where do you put them? Well, that's part of the strategy as well. In some cases, we want some of those in the presentation, but we always want a nice little book that they can flip through and they can see pictures. And, if they got a really nice picture of a before and an after on an installation, and there's a happy couple smiling there bigger than day, and right beneath there was a testimony of what that person actually said about your company or about you, the Comfort Advisor, then that really has a lot of power, because now we're speaking right past the conscious mind down to the subconscious mind, and it starts to put out or reduce those fears and anxieties when doing business with you versus some of these other companies, right? Now, if you do a load calculation, that's going to be in your tool bag as well. If you do maybe you do a quick form manually, or you use a program, or there's some websites for that. You want to print a copy of your company in print. I don't know what I meant on that one. Now look at me. So a copy of your company in print. I just threw myself, guys. I apologize. I'll come back to that. So company awards, photos of your work, manufacturer's recommendations. If there's an article from Train or Lennox or whatever manufacturer is out there, carrier, and they're making a recommendation and it supports the very thing that you're trying to offer, then you want to put that in there. Here's an article from Carrier. They highly recommend that you do this, so we've included it in your package. Here's one from Train. It verifies that, right? Here's one from this manufacturer. Mitsubishi, if you're doing some of the other ductless systems and whatnot. So any manufacturer's recommendations, those are good. Articles that support what you're doing are good from other experts. Your installation manual, excerpts from that. If your installation procedures, for example, maybe you got a picture of a plenum with a starting collar, we're putting flex on there and it's pulled back, and you're showing how you've got a zip tie in there and a mastic seal so that it is airtight. And you explain the mastic, how you use the finest mastic, and when it dries, it goes on a paste, and as it dries, it has a measure of elasticity to it. So as it gets hot and cold, it will give and bend. If somebody bumps it, it's not going to crack. You use only the best materials, and this is the type of maybe duct board. We use this thickness here with that special lining on the inside so that you're not breathing fiberglass, right? Whatever it is that you do, you can take excerpts from these installation manuals and show them this is what is recommended, and then you show a picture of your work, and this is how we do it. So you're actually verifying we're doing things right. Not just trying to meet the minimum code so that we can pass that inspection. Your comfort questionnaire, that is vital on your fact-finding mission, because not only are you looking for the physical needs of your customers, you're also looking to satisfy those emotional needs. And so we want to weave those type of questions in there so that we really get an understanding of what our customers looking for. Even they don't understand it yet. You're their guide, and you're helping them arrive at that. But through a really well thought out process, you're going to come off as very professional, as very thorough, and very credible as well, because you have shown preparation. Because there's nothing any better than hearing these words: the competition didn't do that. That other company didn't ask me that, right? Or better this, I don't have any questions. You just covered everything so well. I don't have any questions, right? So, if you are answering all the questions on the front end, they don't have them later. And then there's just a matter of just getting past, from not having made that decision yet over to making that decision. So the agenda, remember we talked about the agenda opener or close. And so if you'll have that prepared as part of your tool bag, your training certificates, specialized certifications that you and your company might have, financing info. We're doing big ticket items right now, and we have to do finance. And there's a host of other things that we can certainly cover on this, but we just want to make sure that we are prepared. And if you're missing some of these things, then get with us and we'll work with you and help you out. Okay. So we covered a whole lot, but I really wanted to go into this because at some point, and I mentioned the martial arts example the other day, and Sam, I want you to jump in with me at any point you're ready, please. That you're not a white belt anymore. Maybe you got that next belt up. Okay, so you think you're ready, but let's talk about: do you need something else? Do we need some more? I mean, we want more sales, so we spend more money on advertising, right? And so I'm closing at 30%. I think Sam said the average closing ratio was a third. Well, shoot, the average, the number of estimates that people get are 3. So you're just average, 1 in 3, right? And so we want to take that to the next level. So let's talk about that. What about once you've got that belt, what about going to the next belt and the next belt after that? What about continuing to advance? Are you ready? I'm sure you are, but it's a big world out there and you're all by yourself. So how do you refine your skills? Doesn't iron sharpen iron? Well, one thing that we want to consider is a partner. or better yet, partners. You got to be practicing with somebody. Okay. So if your only actual practice is in the home on the customers, those are expensive lessons to learn. When you take
Absolutely.
am I right? So when we take a lesson, we take a lead. What is it? What is the cost of lead acquisition, average lead acquisition, Sam, based on your experience?
Yeah, it's a good question. In our market right now, it's somewhere between, it's about $500 a lead that we're ended up basically doing the numbers for.
Ooh, $500.
It's an expensive market to play in.
Okay, now this applies to everything. So it costs you $500. You're the owner. You did that marketing, and we talked about that front end stuff, so that by the time the comfort advisor gets out there, it flows. What about that call taker? Pete's Heating and Air, can I help you? What do you charge for a 4-ton, 80%, let's say 90% furnace with a 4-ton 16 seer? I'm sorry, we don't give prices over the phone. Thank you very much, dial tone. That just cost you $500.
Every
That's
single
way
time.
back there. I'm sorry?
That's every single time too.
Every single time. So at any break in the process, we got a market that's got to go well. We've got to get them excited about, because you're coming out, Mr. Comfort Advisor, Mrs. Comfort Advisor, you're coming out, and we want them anticipating you. So we've talked about these processes that you can do before you ever show up, and you made that call. Hey, I'm looking forward to our appointment tomorrow at 2:00. So I just want to make sure, where should I park my car? Whatever you want to ask in order to initiate that conversation. So by the time they open up that door, they kind of know who you are. And so we want to take advantage of these opportunities. Everybody's looking for new customers, and most of us aren't spending the time to fully take care of the customers that we have in front of us, or the opportunities. So you got to practice. You got to practice. Now, what if you were to practice in a group? And what if you had somebody to oversee that practice, and they knew what was going on, and you get to change partners, and you get to do this, you get to do that, right? This will help you along. Right? So we always have to be sharpening the saw, as was it Stephen Covey said that? And as we continue to refine our process. Thank you. As we continue to refine our process. What were you going to say, Sam? You want to elaborate on that?
No. So, yeah, that's who really started talking about that first, was 7 laws of highly effective people, the 7 habits.
Yeah, sharpen the saw means this. If you hadn't heard of this, most of us have. In the book, there's 2 guys, and they got this saw, and they're just working on this tree, and there's another team over next to them, and they stop. They take their saw over, and they run it through the sharpener. The other guys just don't stop. The guys who just sharpen their saw, they go back to work, they cut for a while, they pull it off, they sharpen that saw, and by the time they're done, they've cut their tree down. And the first team that doesn't stop and sharpen their saw, they're still going away. They're not making the progress. Why? Because they're sharp as saw. You are the saw. Your mind is the saw. You got to keep it sharp. You got to go to training. Not sitting in a class or sitting behind, I'm going to pick on somebody out there, sorry. Sitting behind your video camera with it turned off, and you don't ask questions, you don't reach out, is only allowing a one-way flow of information. But if you turn it on, you ask questions, you get engaged, you're going to pick up more. Or better yet, if you interact with people and you start to practice some of these procedures. Now, Sam gave you the porch light close. He gave you the ping pong close. I've got a good half dozen more myself that I'd love to share with you, and I will share with you guys coming forward as we move ahead. Now, let's talk about accountability. If you have a boss, you tend to be more productive. If you don't, you don't. So if your company actually, let's say, has a sales manager who works with you, oversees you, holds you accountable, measures your closing ratio, they see challenges, so they sit down with you and they work with you one-on-one, right? We have to track this information. We have to see what what your results are and continue to improve, and be accountable to somebody. And the world's worst are you owners. How do I know? Because I was one. Man, it's great being an owner, right? You get to do whatever you want, whenever you want. But what we do is we allow ourselves to get busy with busy work, non-productive busy work. There's work that needs to be done, and there's work that's just kind of keeps us busy and feel like we're being productive, when in actuality, we have other things we need to focus on. This takes accountability. Business owners need a coach as well. But the point is, accountability makes us all better. There's bad stress, and that comes when you don't have accountability, and there's good stress, and that's doing what you got to do on time. Sam, do you have a thought?
Yeah. So yeah, accountability is so important. It's, especially being entrepreneurs and business owners, and just basically, even if you're, say you're working at a small company or a huge company, the life of a comfort consultant is they basically give you a load of rope. You can build a ladder with it, or you can build a noose with it, but it's all up to you. And so the things that everything we've talked about, they're easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. And that's why accountability comes in and is so crucial and so vital to moving forward, because especially when we're learning new things, until they just become a habit and that just the reason for the practice, it's so easy just to say you've got, say you're out there and you've run, maybe 2 appointments already for the day, 3 appointments in, all of a sudden you're on call and now the appointment comes in at 8 at night. And it's so easy to get there and be like, okay, I'll just email you a bid. We'll see what happens. Or you can practice and slip into old habits, or through accountability, through the practice, actually implement this stuff. And those are the calls that blow your mind on how fast they close, how big they are, if you will just do your due diligence and put the time in. And so that's what the accountability is for, is to keep us on track. It doesn't matter how high we jump in the middle of a training. It's how straight we walk once we land. And so that's the whole point of accountability. And it gives you the time when you're being held accountable. You're able to, like Michael Gerber says in the E-Myth, to work on your business, not in your business. And that's a huge, huge differentiator for especially owners and entrepreneurs out there. If your job is to constantly make the wheel easier to turn and make the machine move better, and then the machine itself is what fixes no cool calls and no heat calls. That's what the machine does. But your job is to work on it, the whole process, to make it smoother. And to do that through personal development, through coaching, through working with people, surrounding yourself with people who are better than you are, so you can rise to a new level.
Absolutely. Thank you. And just to that point, what Sam was talking to right before there, remember when we were talking about, peers? So if you're out there actually practicing, martial arts is really a good example, because this is one of those universal truths that we can apply. So there you are practicing. Now, on the last call, I kind of mentioned something called the no flinching, no panicking drill. And so what they would do is very slow. You start off slow. So gradually your partner would gradually throw a punch at you. And because you learn how to properly block that particular attack, you would very slowly block it, but you wouldn't allow your face to tense up. You wouldn't duck. You wouldn't flinch. You wouldn't jerk back. You're prepared. Now, why? Because calmness always wins in a fight. In fact, calmness and that strong frame always wins in an interaction with another person. You may not, this isn't a confrontation, but it is a back and forth for a while. And so your partner will throw up that objection. And so you're in a practice session and you respond. And then they'll bring another one and you respond. So we've come up with all of these different ways of handling these different situations. And, once you've been through enough sales calls, you pretty much know how to react on this. There's nothing any worse than saying, man, I wish I could remember that thing that Sam told me in the class, because the opportunity was there and I just missed it. Well, you missed it because you didn't practice it, right? You missed it because you didn't go through that no flinching. So we gradually pick that up. So your partner will say this and you come back with that. And then they'll try this and you come back with that. And before you know it, it starts to speed up. So at this point, we've been working with other students, and, we've been accountable. So now let's practice with your instructor. He's going to throw you some curveballs you haven't seen yet. We're really going to see how good you are. We're really going to see how well you're going to start to, you're advancing in your training. Because this is a skill set, guys, just like anything else. It can be physical, or in this case, it's with communication. And when you are prepared, you are emotionally stable. You don't get your feathers ruffled, as they say, or you don't get frustrated. You don't get flustered, but you're prepared. You're calm. You're stable. Your customer is understandably stressed because they're here with no heat or no air. They've got a situation, and here you come in. And your job, of course, is to match those values so that people like people with the same values as them. And so we'll talk about that in greater extent. And then that's going as they go through that emotional transition, for you to be there and be part of that and be their rock. And in the process, you've got a bond for life. I promise you that. So working with your instructor on occasion is going to be really important as well. And then, of course, occasionally you win, right? You get that sale. Who are you going to share it with? How many comfort advisors do you have in your company, right? How many can you share it with? And so this is what we're leading up to. We have got a program for those of you who would like to participate, and we'd like to introduce it to everybody on this call because we feel like it's a really good fit for those of us who are out there and we're doing this day in and day out. We really want to be the best at it. So we'd like, Sam and I'd like to introduce you. We come together on this, and it's called the HVAC Sales Mastermind Group. And so we come together as a group. And first of all, this makes this much more affordable for everybody. But secondly, you're getting the benefit of two different trainers, two different coaches from two different sets of experience, okay? Now, the beauty of that is, now I've learned a lot from Sam. Sam's learned a lot from me. And as a result, we're actually upgrading, he is as well, because I know I am, our sales program to include a lot of what we've kind of interacted with, because again, iron sharpens iron, so we're always trying to improve. So we're coming out with new programs, and that's not what we're here to talk about today in terms of the training program itself. We're talking about doing it on the live. And so here's what this particular program will consist of, okay? So first of all, this is Zoom, what we're on. This will be a smaller groups, obviously. And what we do is we meet once a week. Every week at the same time on the same evening, and we're getting together and we're going through our program together. So you, in essence, have a sales manager if your company can't provide one. You've got one here. You've got a coach that basically one and the same, right? And so each month we want to present a new sales training idea, and we're going to work on this month, okay? So we go through the training and we may practice and things like this. And then we're going to put a document that is shared, and it's called an accountability document. And what you're going to do is, hey, you got to be accountable. We want to see what you did this week. And you know what? We're going to share those wins with you. We're going to celebrate them with you and talk about, share with us. Let us know, how did you, what was the turning point? What did it, right? And then maybe the losses, right? You didn't get this one. Well, what do we need to work on? What happened? Where do you think it went south? Well, they liked me, but they just bought from the competition. No, we haven't uncovered it yet. There's an underlying issue. Anytime you're running into those objections, we haven't addressed the issue. There's something back, a few steps back that was missed somehow, or wasn't appreciated somehow. Now, we use a platform called Telegram. Telegram is a place where you can text, where you can leave a voice recording, where you can look in the camera and record a video, where you can take a picture of a data plate or a situation and share. And imagine this, you've got a group, not of one or two or three or five, but a nice sized group, and you're out in the field and you got a question. Hey guys, I just ran into this situation. What would you do? And this tight group, everybody is helping everybody. I do this, I tried this, I knew that, because you know you can help somebody when they're in a certain situation that you've already had that experience. And somebody else can help you because maybe they've had that experience. And if all else fails, hopefully Sam or myself has had that experience. But the point is, if you just work with one person, like if you just work with Sam and you send Sam a text message, what's the likelihood he's going to be right there, right available, right at that moment to respond right now? He probably could. And he'd try if he could, but it would be a lot more probable that you would get a response if it wasn't just Sam, but maybe Pete was on there, and maybe Kevin was on there, maybe Steven was on there, and maybe, we had all these different members, and somebody's going to answer. I know, why do I know? We have other groups that are on other topics. So it's fun. So take a picture. Hey, has anybody seen a unit like this? What the heck do I do here? You got a team, right? And so this one piece, the Telegram, is kind of like WhatsApp. It's an application, goes right on your cell phone. You can actually put it on your desktop if you want to do that as well. But the point is, you've got access to everybody, and everybody's got access to you. And it's a unique platform. We don't want it on Facebook because we don't want you over there, surfing and all this other stuff. This is, when it chirps, it's special chirp. This is my mastermind group. This is my sales group. I got to check out this message, right? So you jump on there. Okay, so we've got tons of insider tools we're going to be sharing as well. There's a value with that, the questionnaire plus more. The role-playing sessions. Now, Sam and I are going to be role-playing one-on-one with students depending on their commitment level, okay? Depending on what level you decide to come in, because we want to try to make it affordable for everybody, okay? And so Sam's bringing 15 years plus of industry experience, and a huge portion of that is just sales. So he's been doing sales a long time. And of course, myself, I started back in 1982. So I'm coming up on 38 years, old timer here, right? And so I actually went to U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Heating and Air Conditioning and Refrigeration School back in 1982. And 38 years later, here I am talking to you guys. There will be private training and role playing, like I said, depending on your level of commitment. And there's going to be a lot more. Now, so this is what the program is going to look like. We would love if you would come join us and be a member. But first of all, before we jump into how much, let's just talk about what the value of some of this stuff is, and what you'd have to pay if you had to go do this on your own. It may look like something like this, to meet every week for a month, it might be $1,000 a month if you were to do this and actually charge for this as an individual. But we're pulling this as a group, so it's going to be really cool. You're going to like this. What would it cost to have your own sales manager? Your company may have to pay, close to 6 figures to oversee, 3 or 4 salespeople, right? But most of us, as we're growing, we don't have time for that. We can't afford that. Who can we find that's qualified to do that unless we pull it and we share it? So the value here at this level is at least $500 a month. The value of the sales training, the monthly sales training, that's easily $500 a month. What about that accountability? Keeping track of all of that. There's a value there, maybe $350, maybe $550. I don't know. Your weekly wins and reviews. Having somebody to share this with is huge, guys. When you say, I won and I did this, and you're sharing your success, other people are going to benefit, and it works the other way because they're going to share their wins and you're going to benefit. You mean you did that and it worked, and next you're going to try it. Or your loss, where you're like, I don't know what I did. Did you ask this question? Did you do this? And the team helps you get to figure out why you lost that so you don't do it again. That was $500 according to Sam's numbers, is what it cost the company just to get that lead, not to mention your time driving out there, preparing for it, the energy you put into it, hour, 2 hour. How long do you do your interaction with your customer when you're selling somebody a new system? I did 2 hours. I know people do a lot less. Sometimes I'd be there 2.5 hours. I don't know. It just depended on how much I had to do, right? So there's a value there. The Telegram private group, I put $500 value on there. I don't know what that's worth, but that is strong. If nothing else, this is one of the favorite things. When we started that, there's so much banner, that thing is bling, 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 bling going on. What we try to do is just keep it business, so that people don't have too much fun. But the point is, it's a huge resource, and it's always on. Now, you may not get an answer at 2 a.m. And matter of fact, you might make some people mad. But the point is, when you're out there in the field, you're going to get an answer. You're going to get it fast. I'm coming up on this call here in about 30 minutes. I just found out they had this. Anybody run into that? How would you handle it? Guys, we're going to have an answer for you. You're going to make more sales. You're going to make more sales every month. You're going to make more sales every week. You're going to have a higher closing ratio. It's just has to. if you apply yourself and you really throw yourself into this group. So role-playing sessions, again, role-playing sessions, we can do limited amount as a group. Obviously, if we've got group members. Depending on the size, we'll probably break it into teams and have competitions and things like this. You may be on Sam's team, you may be on Pete's team, what have you. But if you did private training with Pete or Sam on a monthly basis, it is easily $2,500 a month. Guys, everybody has bills to pay and everything else. And this is, how much does it cost in GP dollars for your company to come out for the day? And how much time do you have invested in that? So that's a fair number. Many of the consultants that I work around may charge twice that. And that's fine. So it's easily $7,000 per month in value, but we're going to be realistic here. What we do here is we put it together in 3 packages. And Sam, you want to come in and break down the packages for us? I'm going to hit it on the next slide here, but you can schedule. The way we're going to do this is you can schedule, if you're interested, a free strategy call. We're going to put the link in there. And you get on there and you're going to talk to Sam and I, and we're going to figure out, is this right for you? If so, which level? If not, maybe you want to do a training session. Maybe you want to do something else, but we'll figure something out for you. No questions asked, and there's no charge for that. But for the session itself, drum roll, please. Sam, you want to take this? These are the 3 levels. We call this our VIP. We call that, that's our top end. If you're a VIP member, your super star member, and then your rising star. So that's your basic entry level down there. Sam, you want to break that down?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love this. I've been around there's several people that I know here in Austin that I've done a lot of business networking with. The masterminds they're involved in, they literally pay, I know one guy pays $30,000 a year for his mastermind. I know another person that pays $50,000 a year for his mastermind. And they're massive business people. It's crazy. So the power of this mastermind is I'm super stoked about it because, and I was really excited to put this together with Pete for that value. So going through these packs, the Rising Star, that is where we're doing that weekly video call like this. We're diving into the steps of the sale. We're diving into philosophy. We're going to get deep in this stuff. What I touched on last night is not just the 10,000 view, it's the 100,000 foot view. There's so many elements to a high end sales process. If you're service tech, if you're selling tech, if you're, the project manager, comfort consultant, professional. So that's that weekly video call. So we're good where we get that interaction, and it's really powerful. We are capping this group too. So there's to keep only a certain number of people, so everyone will have time to have that type of interaction.
Yes.
So that is going to be the Rising Star level. So it's that weekly, where everything that Pete showed you, that's what we're going to do once a month. We've got whatever the topic is, we're going hardcore, chasing after that for the month. And then based on everyone's struggles, this is going to be a kind of a moving target as well, which is cool because as we change seasons, the struggles are different. So we can, based on your feedback, customize exactly what you need when you need it to be able to overcome those way faster than you ever have in the past. Also, at any level that you join at, one of the things that Pete and I both talked about, anytime for being in our mastermind group here, when we offer our full-blown sales course in the future, Pete's got one he's working on, I have mine I'm working on. When those are available, you're going to get the biggest discount we'll ever offer. And so that is just a thank you for, being part of this group, and just because we want to see you successful. Now, so that's the Rising Star level. It's the weekly calls. It's access to stuff in the future as we develop forms and all of the different collateral for the process. That's included. Getting into the superstar level, there's going to be a lot more. We're starting to get a lot more personalized, one-on-one type of training. So Pete, why don't you go ahead and hit the element we added at the superstar level? I know you've got got our notes right there in front of you.
Okay. Great. So yeah, great job on covering. So the Rising Star is basically everything with one difference. If you go to the superstar level once a month, you're going to have a 1 hour one-on-one session, 1 month with P. Ramsey, 1 month with Sam Wakefield, and so on and so on. So every month you've got a one-on-one session. Now we're going to do private training. We're going to do role playing. I want to hear you. Give me that delivery again. Let me hear you how you deliver it. And so we can work on that. No. Why don't you soften this and add this and try that? So Sam's got great experience on this. I have as well. So we can help you in that one-on-one basis. Now, if you wanted to go to the VIP, we're going to do that every 2 weeks. So that's the major difference. Everything that's in the Rising Star or in the upper 2 groups, the difference is the amount of one-on-one time you get. The Superstar is once a month. The VIP is twice a month. Okay, so you work with both of us every month at the VIP level. So that you get Pete's angle on this and you get Sam's angle on this, because we do see things a little differently. And a lot of times I'll see something that Sam won't, and Sam will see something that perhaps I won't. And so you get the benefit of everybody. So that's the benefit of having 2 instructors instead of 1. So that's what I really liked about this, is because it kind of it kind of brings more to the table. Because at the end of the day, guys, we got to sell this stuff. We got to get it done. And if you don't sell but 1 additional system a month, I mean, you could do this. Now, if you are 1099 and everything else, you can write this off. Or you can just take this and turn the invoice into your boss and ask for a full refund, partial refund, or meet me halfway on this, boss. I'm doing this for us because it's just costing you $500 per lead for every one I lose. Let's get some more. And your boss will probably pay you.
Absolutely. That's it. And that's why when we teamed up on this, we priced it the way we did, because, my private clients, I have charged way more than this. And I know Pete does as well. But by the power of the group coming together, which is so cool, which they don't have in the peer group, we priced it at these levels so everybody who wants to can be involved. So imagine just implementing what we've taught you for free the last 2 nights. Do you think that you'll at least make 1 more sale a month? I'm sure the answer is probably yes, right? So that would pay for this. But we know, because over time, as you get better and more practiced, that's going to be an extra sell a week. That's going to be 2 extra sells a week.
Now we're going to watch that accountability document. I'm sorry, Sam. We're going to watch that accountability document and make sure you're progressing it. Because if you're not, we don't want your money. We don't want you. If you're not going to commit yourself, if you're not going to put yourself in, with all respect, maybe this isn't the group for you. But if you're wanting to do this, if you really want to have success, then come join a team that they also want to succeed. They want to succeed, but they want you to succeed. We've got partners in there. We've got what do you call it? Accountability partners and things like this. So there's all these different aspects or facets to this that really you should benefit. You should grow. You should improve.
Right.
But if you don't,
I don't have coaching students who don't sell $1 million a year or more. It just doesn't happen with my students.
Awesome. So, Sam, how do they get a hold of us to set up their free strategy call? What's the next step?
Well, next step is so this is what the page is going to look like. Pete, I'm sure, has the link here. It is closeitnow.biz/ what is that link, Pete?
can we drop that in the chat? I can't do it from my screen yet. Okay, please.
I sure can. I've got it right here. Okay. closeitnow.biz/HVAC Sales. So I'll put it in the chat right now. When you go there, let's see. Yes, closeitnow.biz/HVAC Sales. When you go there, that's going to there you go. So that's going to give you the ability to, if you put that screen back up, Pete.
I just took it down. Hang on a minute. Which one you want?
The one that was just up, the calendar one.
Oh, that's just a screen grab. Let me see if I can.
Put it. Oh, you're going to pull up this page? Okay. So basically what we were doing is at this point, what we want you to do, if you would like to talk about this more, this is not committing you to the group by signing up for this call. We're giving you a free discovery call with both of us to, one, we can talk about whatever you want. If you just want to use it as, hey, help me troubleshoot this, we can do that. Of course, the purpose of that is to talk about where you are specifically in your business with Pete and myself both. We can discuss which level might be a right fit for you. And then you can decide at that point if that's something you'd like to commit to. So go to that webpage, and that's going to bring up our calendar. And so you just pick a spot, day or evening or weekend, that a 30-minute block that fits you best. Yeah, so right there's the calendar. Yep, so just pick on a day, you pick a time. There you go. Pick a time, and it just signs up. It sends you an email, and put your info in. It'll send you an email. So, and it'll even remind you on your calendar of how, how to do it. So, oh,
That was a message from your wife.
Oh, there you go. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, Sam. And then we'll schedule that. Cool. Yeah,
Cool.
That's how it goes. So yeah, if you guys just want to jump on a free strategy call and get a couple extra tips, or maybe you have your own question you need a little help with, that's fine too. Come on, jump on. We want the relationship, and it's all good. But if you want to join the team, come join the team. We'll make sure you get more sales. We'll make sure that you get that return on investment multiple times.
And this is how cool it works, guys. There's the email I just got from what Pete just filled out. So it's that instant. We'll know right away, and we'll get in touch with you.
Yep. And the meetings both of us will be there for you. Okay. But we do ask that you do this relatively quick. We're going to launch this thing. I think the best evening is
good. Let's cover those details. When does it start?
It's going to be the Sunday after this coming one. So it's not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, which would be the 23rd, last Sunday of the month. And then we'll just keep rolling. So you'll get an extra,
and that,
I think.
Yeah, you get an extra week that way, because that way, first one, you basically get 5 weeks for your the first month. So it gets the free week for the 23rd. And so when you enroll, then that pays all the way through the end of March.
Yeah, and we need that extra week anyway, because there's the housekeeping. We got to set up the Telegram. We got to make sure everybody knows how to use everything, and we won't get the full the full effect of the first meeting, because it's all housekeeping stuff, right? So that'll work out really well. But you will get that first week worth of live use of the Telegram app where you're in the group. And guys, I mean, literally, I don't type. I just record. And I'll talk to my group all the time. Hey guys, just had this thought, we're working on this particular thing over here. Whatever your situation is, share it with us, guys. Jump in there, make it worth your time, and put us to work for you. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. So the link is in the description box over in the Zoom group chat. It came over from Sam. It's closeitnow.biz/HVAC Sales. So do we have some questions? I'm sure we do. Come on, let's open it up.
Yep, question and answer time.
Yeah, we can ask questions about that particular, are you locked into the full year? Or is this a month to month?
No, you're locked in for 7 years. It's a 7-year program.
I thought it was 10.
Yeah. No. So that's the thing with this type of a thing. We know that, and you, of course, you would know too, over time, things get better. We would love to see you stay, and that's the reason we're taking month snapshots with our accountability, is we're going to do a month's worth of numbers and then start over next month, keeping those numbers. So it's less of an overall average. So we'll really be able to see as the traction we go along. Now, the thing with that is there's no contract. There's no, locking into anything. We would definitely like to see you stick it out for, 3 months minimum to get some momentum going. Right. But at the same time, if you don't feel like you're getting the value from it, we'll refund your money, man.
Yeah.
Dang,
well, no. So it's just simple.
For that month.
Yeah. Just you don't want to do it, just quit. But quitters never win, winners never quit. So listen, guys, we've done other groups. We know how to put the value in there. the guys just stay. You know, if you're getting some out
Yeah.
of it, you're not gonna, why would you? Right?
Oh,
If
hey,
you're
actually,
continuing
this
to
is fun.
progress, why would you?
I got a text this morning from one of the, so I do this group also that's just strictly my own. And so I've been doing a, kind of a thing like this for a little while. Got a text this morning from my guy that's been with me for about 6 months. First half of the year last year, before we started coaching, his average sell was about $5,500, something like that. The second half of the year after we started coaching, his average sell went up to about $7,800. Now, he sent me this text this morning. Hey, just wanted to thank you. My close rate year to date is 80%. Sold 8 out of 10. Few still pending 2 with a big smiley face. Average sell for the year is $8,600 so far.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's awesome.
He says, I mean, holy crap. Well, I didn't say crap. Holy crap, what a difference. So I just got that text this morning. So
that's awesome.
That's
Great
the kind of
story.
results
Sam,
and changes we see.
what is your top performer? What is he selling per year?
So far, let's see. Oh gosh, I know we've got people that are pushing 3 million. I know we've got. Trying to remember. We just have so many.
That's a good answer. That was fine answer for me.
Yeah, I talked to a guy the other day. He does 4 every year. So
okay.
Yeah.
It's guys like that that stay in there. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't doubt the training or the value in it, especially for someone as green, I should say, as myself, because that's the first thing I talked to Zeke about in the morning was how he talked about the porch light sale and the ping pong sale. And I thought that was important to me, is recognizing the situation as it's happening and being able to keep the conversation flowing.
And right as we
to get the sale, as long as you're still sitting at the table, you're in it. You're still in the game, and being able to flow flawlessly like that. So I certainly see the value in it, and I have no doubt that that both of you, that I could learn from either of you. Just wanted to know if that was like a locked-in thing or a month-to-month, because I'm certainly interested. I will set a date to talk for sure.
Nope. Amen. No, great question. So, no, we both got experience. Now, most of my teams that I have over on the Telegram platform, these are business owners. In fact, they all are. This is the first group that I put together with sales. And I reached out to Sam because I know he had experience with this. So I asked him, please, will you come join me? And he was like, man, are you kidding me? And so because we're a good fit, we get along really well. And we do complement. I mean, he's younger, I'm older. He's coming from, our styles are different. So you can adapt. You'll find yourself gravitating to one or the other based on what the topic is. But the point is, you get the benefit of both. And that's what it's all about. I mean, go learn from your own experiences if you want. But man, it's just a lot cheaper and a lot healthier to learn from somebody else's.
Learning from your own experience. Yeah. Learning from your own experience is great, but it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Quite often, sometimes I'm in the truck going, damn, I think of something then, or something like that,
Yeah.
Right.
So it's in there. I mean, I've been in sales probably a year, going into my second year. Had a good first year. I have lost a couple here recently, and need to improve on that.
You know what? And there's a lot of variables. Sometimes you just got stress at home and you carry it forward. And there's strategies for dealing with it, okay? The quality of the lead, are you doing the pre-lead work to warm those waters so that when you come in? And it's funny you mentioned that, because Zeke's over in the business group, your boss, and he and I actually had this conversation. And he was saying, Kenny was telling me about that, and so we got to tell him about it. And he's prepared. He actually went out and bought camera equipment. He's putting the studio together, and he's gonna be putting up some really quality content because he's serious. He wants to win. You know, he took over his dad's business. You know, it was old school. They didn't measure this. They didn't measure that. He's trying, and he's going to do it to take it to that level in which he is the most professional, successful operation in the area. And that's not the cheapest company. It never is. And so, you know, if you're ready to cross the $1 million mark, if you hadn't done it yet, or if you're ready to cross that $2 million mark as a salesperson, covered advisor, or as a business owner that also sells, even better yet, you know, and you can actually hire a person. You can see, you know, where to send them for the training. You know, we get them through there, because a lot of this is technical. A huge part of it is you've got to know what you're trying to offer, but a huge portion are these soft skills and how to create that rapport, because it's a large investment. And there's a lot of scammers out there that, you know, the late night news loves to promote and scare people with. You know, I was a territory manager for many years, calling on a lot of contractors. And I got to tell you, most of them were not crooks. Now, we were, you know, most of them were just honest, hard-working contractors. They would never steal, right? You know, some of their employees, that's a different question, but you had that experience. But the point is, most of these guys don't deserve the reputation that the HVAC industry has somehow received because of these scams and all this other stuff. So you gotta, these are the types of things that we have to be equipped to overcome. And if we start the slow exercises, you're going to start off slow. But ultimately, you're going to look like Bruce Lee out there. I mean, if you apply yourself, you can go to that superstar level or VIP level, whatever that might be for you. Guys, forgive me just one moment. I'm going to do it right this time. I'm not going to cut everybody off. I'm going to end the recording, and we can small talk offline. But for those of you who are watching the recorded side, thank you so much for attending. The link will be live for the next 30 days, or at least. I don't know, Sam, we may leave it a little long. We'll talk about that. But if you are watching this in the recorded version, hopefully.
Yeah, we're good. Actually, we're going to make it live until the day of that we start the group, till the 23rd.
Right.
So after that, that link's going to go out and it'll roll into something else.
Okay. So that'll be gone, but just reach out to me personally. You guys can PM me over at Pete Ramsey from HVAC Greatness on Facebook, and that's really the best way. So anyway, that's the end of the recording. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next training session.